Hello everyone, I am Anishu and in this video I'll be creating a traffic light system using Arduino Nano 33 IoT and control it through a website that I have hosted on the internet. I can control the traffic light system from anywhere in the world. To host the website into the internet, I'll be using Google's Firebase. Firebase provides a reliable and scalable hosting infrastructure. It has global content delivery network for fast content delivery. It has automatic SSL certificate provisioning for security and simplified deployment and management process and many more. Now let's set up our Firebase project. Go to the Google Firebase website and create a new project if you have not made one. After you have created your own Firebase project, you will be shown an interface similar to the one that you can see in the screen. Simply click on Projects Settings so that you can go and check out all the necessary details regarding the project you have created. You can scroll down below and create your own app. As you can see, I have created one of my own, and in this you can see the necessary configurations that are needed in your code. You can simply copy these configurations and paste it in the code so that you can access the Firebase application to host your website here. After that, by clicking on Services Accounts, you can simply go to Database Secrets and get your personal database secret key that you will be using in the code. After that, click on the real-time database to set up your real-time database itself. You can see here, after setting up the real-time database, you will get the real-time database rules and the URL. You just need to copy the URL and paste it in the code to use it later. Go to rules and set up the rules. You can simply put everything to true. Even though it is the least secure method, it'll be useful for this project, and we'll be using that. The path that will be set off here will be automatically set through the code itself, so you don't need to worry about that right now. Now let's see how will we upload our website to Firebase. I have used HTML and CSS to create a simple GUI to control the entire systems through buttons. I have used 4 buttons in the project, and I have used an image that changes when a button is pressed accordingly. Now I am going to show you how to upload your HTML page to Firebase using the code I have written. But first, let's quickly go through what this code does. As you can see, this is a JavaScript code that uses Firebase to send and display data on a web page. Let's break it down step by step. First of all, importing the Firebase modules. We start by importing the necessary Firebase modules using ES6 import statements. These modules help us interact with Firebase services. Next, Firebase configuration. Here we provide the Firebase configuration, which includes the API key, auth domain, database URL, and other important settings. These are unique to your own Firebase project, and you can get these when you create your own Firebase app. Next, initializing Firebase. We will initialize Firebase with the configuration settings we provided earlier. This sets up the connection to Firebase. Now, signing in anonymously. We will sign in anonymously to Firebase, which allows us to access the real-time database securely. Now, sending and display data function. This function is responsible for sending data to the real-time database and changing the displayed image on the web page. It takes a color parameter and sends it to the database. Then it hides all the images and displays the relevant one based on the color. Button click functions. We have 4 button click functions: glow red LED, glow yellow LED, glow green LED, and don't glow LED, that call send and display data function with different colors based on the button clicked. Now finally, the hide all images function. This function hides all the images on the web page. Now that you understand how the code works, let's move on to uploading the HTML page to Firebase. First of all, make sure you have a Firebase object set up. You can create one by going to the Firebase console and following the steps there. Next, replace the Firebase configuration in your code with the one specific to your Firebase project. You can find this configuration in your Firebase project settings. Now we will use Firebase hosting to upload the HTML page. The Firebase hosting is a powerful, secure, and easy to use way to host your web content. Before we proceed, we will need to install the Firebase CLI. We can do this by simply running the command npm install -g firebase-tools in the terminal. Once the Firebase CLI is installed, we will simply run Firebase login to log into the Google account. Now navigate to the project folder in the terminal and run Firebase init hosting. Follow the prompts to set up the Firebase hosting for the project. With Firebase hosting initialized, we can now run Firebase deploy to upload the project files, including the HTML page, to Firebase hosting. And finally, with that, the HTML page is now hosted on Firebase. You can now access it anywhere in the world using the URL provided after the deployment is successful. Now that we have hosted our website in Google Firebase, let's check out the Arduino code and see what's happening in the backend. Now I'm going to walk you through the Arduino code that I have used to connect my real-time database to the Arduino. As you can see, this is an Arduino code that connects the Firebase real-time database. Let's break down what's happening in this code step by step. First of all, we will import the necessary libraries for this project. We are using the Firebase Arduino library to interact with Firebase. Next, we configure Firebase by specifying the Firebase project details. This includes the Firebase database host and authentication token. Make sure to replace these with your Firebase project credentials. We define the LED pins. In this case, we have 3 LEDs, red, yellow and green, connected to pin number 2, 3 and 4 respectively. Now we will set up the Wi-Fi connection by providing our Wi-Fi network's SSID and password. The Arduino will connect to the Wi-Fi network before proceeding. After that, we will create the Firebase data object called object to interact with Firebase. This object will be used to send and receive data from the real-time database. After that, to initialize the Firebase, by calling the Firebase begin with the host, authentication token and the Wi-Fi credentials. We also enable Wi-Fi recognition in case of disconnection. In the setup function, we will start turning off all the LEDs. We will also set the initial value in the Firebase real-time database to switch off to ensure that all the LEDs are off when the system starts. Now let's look at the main loop. We will continuously fetch data from the Firebase real-time database using Firebase getString. This function retrieves the data stored at the specified path, which is /mypath/caught in our case. After that, we will compare the data fetched with the predefined states. If the data is red, we then turn on the red LED and turn off the others. If it is yellow, we will turn off the yellow LED and so on. If the data is switch off, then we will turn off all the LEDs. We will also provide serial output messages to monitor the status of the LEDs. This can be helpful for debugging. Lastly, we will include error handling to detect any issues with the Firebase connection or data retrieval. And there you have it. The Arduino object connects to the real-time database and controls the LEDs based on the data it receives. It is simple yet powerful example of IoT in actions. Finally, it is time for the demo. As you can see in this circuit diagram, I have connected 3 LEDs to the Arduino. I have utilized 3 resistors to safeguard the LEDs too. When the buttons are pressed, the respective LED glows. I hope you got valuable insights from this video to create your own Firebase project. Thank you.